Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We're two longtime friends to discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yeah, but through our own lens, honey, which can be a little peppery, a little salty, a little spicy, a little, bitter. But at the end of the day, hopefully, a little tiny dessert at the end will be mildly sweet.
Yay!
Yay! We're here. We're wearing something very similar but very different, I guess, according to Wa. But we are excited to talk about love, honey. It's the love after lockup world. We are right now in the love during lockup phase of it. We don't know. I mean, we're calling it season 4, episode 24. This episode was called Secret Prison Wedding. I'm also wondering what they're going to do because now they're teasing that they're going to have brand new couples for Love After Lockup, the next series, which premieres in December. So that's what's happening. Also, yeah, so we watch Love After Lockup on WeTV. A lot of people watch Love After Lockup on YouTube, but also Love After Lockup streams on a streaming service called All Black. So that is where you, I guess, can watch this. It's interesting that Matt Sharp has like a different universe of shows within a different network. Like he is diversifying his portfolio. He doesn't have all his eggs in one basket, that Matt Sharp. He's not all Discovery.
Yeah, he's not all the TLC Discovery world. He also switches over to the WeTV All Black world, which makes me go, are they pandering towards the black folks? Are they saying that only black people watch Love during lockup, Love After Lockup, Love Life After Lockup? And that's not true. I mean, it's just not true. But if they're gonna put it on WeTV Black or whatever that Black app is, that's I guess fine. Um, so this can also be seen as Love During Lockup season 2, episode 2. So it's all very confusing, but we hope that you guys watched it. Thankfully, they do not put on two different Love After Lockup series at the same time, unlike TLC, who loves to give us like an HEA and a Single Life at the same time, and it's just like a lot. So I'm grateful for that. The problem with Love During Lockup is that a lot of these men or people are in prison for a very long time. So they're not going to get to Love After Lockup soon. They didn't pick people who only have like a year left or, something manageable. They Sincera, she's got 11 years in prison. And so I don't know when her and that nerd are going to meet.
I can't wait to talk about it with you. I cannot wait. Listen, I can't wait to talk about it with you.
Let's
Okay.
just jump right in it. Let's jump right in and talk about them.
Okay, they're my
So next couple that we're going to talk about, or first couple we're going to talk about, is Mark and Sincera, who, I mean, Sincera sincerely is able to find makeup on a whim at a moment's notice.
honey. It took her 2 hours to just put on that eyeliner, though. She's like, I had to get up at 6:30, honey.
Yeah, because she had to crunch the pencil lead and then make a paste out of it with her own spit and then apply it with some kind of shiv apparatus that she fashioned out of soap.
I, I'm dead. You can't see me. If you're watching on Patreon, you can see my face. I'm dead. But like, if you're hearing me, just know that dead sounds are coming out of my mouth. Okay, so let's go back. So we've been waiting to learn about them. We obviously didn't get them last episode. We open on Las Vegas, honey, like hustling and bustling, like we are in some dude's closet, it's like a full-on male's closet. It's kind of the kind of closet that you think that someone who would like enroll at Andrew Tate University would like go to. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of closet, like.
Can you tell me who Andrew Tate is? People have been talking about him and I don't know who this person is.
So he kind of has become the next version of like someone who is promotes that kind of like hyper masculine, hyper capitalistic, make money, and
Oh, he's like Grant Cardone.
who is that person?
Okay.
Mhm.
I feel like Grant Cardone is like a Scientologist who promotes that like thing, where he's like, you could be. Okay, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, basically, I think that one whole thing that happened on the internet was the advent of like people hustling with like schemes and or like PDFs and courses to be said, like it's like there's this whole part of the like Instagram and social media world of like influencers that are entrepreneurs who teach or coach people in such avenues like real estate or making money or how to hustle or how cryptocurrency or
Yeah.
so he does that kind of like coupled with his like bro attitude, which is basically just someone who like sort of like throws up all of them. Remember like the what was that guy from the like the early aughts MTV show? The FFF. Lord, I forgot his name. You know what I'm talking about? Well,
Not
he
at
was
all.
like he had this like dude show where he like taught dudes how to be like how to neg women and stuff, and he looked like, I mean, a circus act. Oh God, I forgot his name. That's how uneventful he was, and how he. I forgot this person's name. It's just, but anyway, basically, he's like just rehashing that kind of like women want, this kind of guy, and like don't be a p word, like it's just a lot of that. So anyway, that's who Andrew Tate is. Whatever, God bless. So we're moving on to this. So it's him and his friend Jeremy. So Mark and Jeremy are going through Jeremy's closet trying to like find something to like pick from, wear from Mark, because Jeremy is Mark's friend who's a bigger than him and who's also like been in prison. Now, Jeremy, I don't know what he does. He's just around the Las Vegas scene. Now he was in prison for 10 years. Now he has a penthouse. He throws like crazy parties. There's probably like a lot of drugs at these parties. God bless. And Mark is an entrepreneur, software engineer who also helps and produces music events and makes, for some reason, $600,000 a year.
Good for Mark. I really said bravo to that, because that is a spirit that I wish that I had, where I could just like be a nerd by day and like pseudo cool by night, Pause. Jean Marie, can you cut this out? Chris, you sound so much better when you turn your face towards towards your bathroom.
Yeah, that's where the mic is.
Okay.
I'll put it in the middle.
Talk again.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, thank you so much. So yeah, he feels that way kind of like a Chaz Harbison, like as a nerd by day but wants so badly to be a cool guy by night, Anyway, so listen, they're fine shirt. He's like, that would fit you. He like, he sits down with Jeremy. He's like, Jeremy's like his like older brother, bro energy, who's also been in prison. So he helps him like talk about girls, but also like understands what it's like because he's been in prison.
But also has a gold chain, so we believe him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not lying. So he like, it's like, look, I have been talking to many girls in prison. This is the first one I'm going to video chat with. Her name is Sincere. We don't know why that's her name. That's not the name she was born with. And so why can't we just find out her real name?
Why wasn't that the name she was born with?
You sincerely think that this person was put on the earth and her name was Sincere-A?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sincera?
Okay. No, I guess I wouldn't. No, in a billion years, I wasn't like, that's that person's name. No.
Oh.
No, I've never heard of another Sincere. How many Sinceres do you know, Wa?
I mean, how many Wahamas do you know?
Your name makes, oh God. Your name isn't like some other word in English that we just don't know,
Yeah,
like.
but I'm saying like this is what people do. Like this is what people do who are trying to be creative when they're naming their children, is that they do it. I think it's actually a cute name. The spelling of it, I mean, could you imagine being in kindergarten having to like be like S-I and then like dash A, and then when you like learn what the dash is for, you're like, why did they put a dash there? Why was that dash necessary? Why not just put the A next to the R? That's what I feel for her, is that she got to the point where she learned that it was an unnecessary choice.
In every way. Okay. So in every way. So basically Sincera, like, it was a little confusing, so you can like help me with this. Like, she got in prison because she didn't set her grandmother's house on fire, but tried to.
I mean, girl, she didn't even set her grandma's house on fire. Like, what show were you watching? She was shooting in her grandmother's house. She was just like shooting a gun around the place, and then it was like deemed as like something. It sounded very harsh, and she got 11 years. So like maybe there was like, I don't know. My only thought is that she like shot a gun. This is what I was thinking in my mind.
Okay.
She like shot a gun. She like shot a gun into the wall, shot a gun into like the couch, like shot the gun into different orifices, which is not the right word, in the house. hold. And then maybe there was people in the house, so there was like a situation where she could have um really hurt someone. And then on top of that, she was like on drugs, because she mentioned that she was going to leave the drugs behind and that she wants a new lease on life. And the fact that she got 11 years to me indicates that she either did not, I mean, had the world's worst lawyer like ever, because this seems like par for the course for someone of her race in this country. It doesn't seem like they would give her 11 years. Like she got the prison sentence of a black man, I felt like.
Maybe we don't know extraneous circumstances, but
Unless
yeah,
there was like a child involved, like a bunch of stuff. But from what he said she did versus what the charges were, I'm like, there's something else going on that we're missing, because there's a lot of 11 years is a lot for what he said that she did.
yes, 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 yes. Now he has a full-on spreadsheet that he calls Caged Ladies, that he keeps track of all of the people that he talks to and all of their information. Now it's not different from Ty. It's like
Oh, not at all.
you really have to, if you in Ty's talk, have a roster, and for him
Mhm.
he does.
Mhm.
Listen, Sincere is the first person he's talked to, but it could have been someone else in video chat. So it's just like, if you are going to mastermind talking to a bunch of people, you have to like keep on track. I thought about doing that before with just like dating apps. Have you? But like, because it's sometimes difficult. But like, I really don't talk to more than like 3 people at a time.
Yeah, I can't even talk more than 2 people at a time, and then I'm looking to get down to 1. It
Yeah.
just like, it's too much. I really don't care about that many people's day, It's like, "Oh, how was your day today?" "I'm
Yeah.
good," and then you go to the other one, like, "How was your day today?" Like, truthfully, I don't care about one of their days. Or like I'm leaning more towards the other person, and I don't, I'm like, "What are you giving me?" Okay, so
When I say with someone, sorry. With that, I will often try and come up with like the cutest, funnest, like thing to say, and then I will copy and paste it to 3 different people and see who gives me the best reply.
Oh.
Oh, okay, go on.
Wow.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I don't. I guess I'm just like, I don't like to date. And I do it because I'm supposed to put myself out there and try and shit, but like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. Anywho,
let's get back.
I think that the spreadsheet is very smart because he's talking to a lot of different people. And I think at this point, he is actually doing it the way you should be doing it, which is it's a sport almost. You're not truly trying to find the love of your life. This guy finds it easier to talk to women who are in prison. And so he will probably get more like realistic. I mean, if they're being honest, because they could be creating a whole fantasy too. I feel like everyone just has a fantasy, and I'm here for it. And he also says it's cheaper for him to put money on books. Like, it's cheaper to put $50 a week on a book than take a woman out on a $200-300 dinner date.
Ugh, he grossed me out so bad when he said that. Like, he's just like, I make $600,000. I just like don't dress great. I'm just like so nerdy and just like, yeah, like, so the answer is I'm gonna date prison women because they don't expect anything and they're just sitting around and they won't even like, I don't even have to like take them out. I win. It's like, it's such a loser or beta way of thinking about life. I want someone to be like, make a bunch of money. I don't know how to like really dress myself or live the best. So it's like, what I'm gonna do is find someone who can like, like make my life better, but like that's not what they do. Anyway, God bless. That's why he'll always be a beta. So it's why he'll like have people like Jeremy in his life, because he's just like such a little mousy mouse. So I will tell you this.
The
He gives my
judgment. I
mom
mean, that hardcore judgment. She's like, I judge. Listen, we all judge, but Chris judges like, it was just like, wow, like, oh.
well, we all have opinions, and
Mhm.
I have a bunch, but I only have one butt. So I only have one asshole. You know what I'm saying? So there's that saying.
Oh, good to
Let me
know.
tell you. Yeah, no, it's true. He hopped on this phone call and she gets that. He's like, wow, I love your eye makeup. Love your eyeliner. It's like, that's the first thing you're going to say to someone. God bless. Like, you're a man.
No, that's great. He's acknowledging the fact that she put in like energy towards looking good for him for like the 5 minutes they spoke on the phone. And also, she did look cute. And I like the fact that he complimented her and he was into it. I mean, the problem is he has to wait for 11 years, but he was into it.
He's just like, so like, oh, like, that's hot. You're hot. Oh, I like the fact that she has high testosterone. It's just like, he just wants to like Why? Because I mean, is your thought that you're just gonna like marry someone so you can have a conjugal visit once every whatever, once every 4 months? Like, I don't even understand like what the thought process is. Like, you're not gonna be able to f this woman for a long time. She's in prison, so who cares if she has high testosterone or she makes you feel hot or whatever? It's just so like delusional, I guess. In the same way, like I feel like it doesn't feel natural or organic. It feels like the worst choice. Like, can't possibly end in a long-term situation, like much like Kimberly and Usman, where I'm just like, really, I can judge her, I can judge this. Um, that phone call lasts 2 seconds before they have to like jump off, and he's like, "Oh, have a good day, you're hot. Oh, I wonder if she heard me." And then she calls back. She's like, "Hi, let's continue." And then he's like, "Okay, yeah, let's continue. She's my favorite. Oh shit!" And like Jeremy's like, "Did you put her on mute?" He's like, "No." And so he's just like literally having a conversation with her and his like bro, big bro energy friend. It's just like, I don't know. He's just so.
Jeremy is his matchmaker. That's his matchmaker. That's the person who helps him navigate through this. And like, I mean, listen, these people have little options, and they are you doing it in the best that they can. Here's what it is, folks. Chris and I have two different opinions when it comes to this. She is what feels like very angry. We've been talking about them for a long time. She just like wants every detail to talk about Mark because that's how much she dislikes him. So it is like I didn't even get I mean, she's never been more detailed with a couple than she is in this moment right now with Sincera and Mark, because she's so mad at Mark. She's mad that he makes the amount of money that he makes and that he doesn't make better choices. And I'm like, I mean,
He makes weak choices. He makes inactive, weak choices.
Who cares? There's a place for every beta man in the world. Like,
who cares? No one cares, honey. I'll never be that person, but we have a podcast. So if you want to move on, it feels like you want to move on. That's fine. Wow, who's your next couple?
Let's just quickly talk about Jessica and Michael, because what really happened? Justine and Michael.
Jessica and Michael. Okay, Justine and Michael. Yeah, basically, she, obviously has not wanted told his family that she's getting married, to him tomorrow, and they're all there. So they like go to like a meal, which looks like a very nice Italian place. Like her family's there first, and then his family comes or whatever. And then she's like, "I just want to give you guys a toast, like a toast." And right there, oh, how beautiful, how timing. Oh my God, producers, that he calls, when he's like, and she's like, "Great, you called right at the perfect time. So we're gonna tell him that, we're getting married. That's gonna be on you." And then she just like puts him on voice, what's it called? Speaker.
It should be on them. It should be on him. He should have told them. It wasn't truly her responsibility to tell them. It was his responsibility, because he calls them just as much as he calls her. And so the family finds out and they are a little taken aback. And the sister is like, "Well, mommy, you're going to be there." But mommy's upset. So mommy gets up and walks away. And then other mommy gets up and goes sits down with original mommy. And they talk about it. But these two mothers have a difference of opinion of why these two shouldn't get married. One doesn't want her daughter to waste her time with this jailbird. And the other one is like, it's just too soon. Like, he's got a lot of things he has to do once he get out of prison. And, it wouldn't be a good idea for them to rush into this too quickly. Right. But the second mommy, like Justine's mommy, can't say like, "I don't want my daughter to marry your loser son. She already has problems enough. And she doesn't need your like baggage ass son to be on that list." Right. But they don't say that. And then back at the seat, the sister-in-law is like, "I really wish you would have told us." And Justine's like, "Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys, but just didn't know when it was right." If I were Justine, I would have been like, "Michael told me not to tell you. I wanted to tell you so bad, and I feel bad. I forced him to do it this time at this dinner because we were coming, and I hated keeping the secret from you." And then the sister was like, "Okay, just relationships are built on trust. I'm very protective of my dumbass brother. I protected him so much that now he's in prison. So good job for me, right?" And then that's the end of it.
Yeah, we never get to see the Italian food, which I would have loved to have seen. And that's it.
All right.
Michael is so hot, and that's why Justine wants to be with him. Period. The end. Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on to Louis and this fuck idiot Melissa.
No, I can't. She's the worst.
I mean, you guys, I don't understand a woman who has her shit together, who gets with an addict, who has never had any therapy, who is still in prison and can offer you literally nothing. And then you want to bring the whole what producer set her up to where she agreed, like, yeah, let's bring it back to high school. Let's take it back to when we were in high school so that let's go get some coffee. And then I'm going to talk to my sisters to see if they're okay with this. But mainly, I just want to fuck him on Junior's Row, where we would have fucked 75 years ago if we had known each other.
Yeah. I think the best part of their whole segment is the phone call with his mom. So basically so after high school, honey, whatever, and God, that's that junior street where she wants to like make out or fuck. She goes to his like old home that he grew up in. Okay. So she's like, oh my God. He calls. Oh, the perfect timing. Guess what? Guess where I am? 83 street. He's like, oh shit, like, wow, he's like, you should call my mom and tell her. And she's like, okay. So then she does, honey. And
It's kind of scary to call his mother. Oh, but I'm going to call her. Oh, it makes sense for me to just call her out the blue and tell her who I am. He did tell me that she's a scary lady.
when she said scary lady, I immediately thought of Patrick and Thaise's mom.
I will never think of that woman on purpose ever again.
I think that when he said I was like Patrick's mom of Patrick and Thais and 90 Day Fiance. But anyway, basically, she gets on the phone and this woman is like, she calls. She's like, hello. She's like, I'm Lewis's girlfriend, Melissa. And the woman's like, who? Melissa, I'm Louis' girlfriend. Who? Like, it's just like she's not been told about this person at all. She is not given F, or she wants to put this person in this place. She's like, yeah, so I'm that person and I'm in front of your old house. She's like, okay. She's like, and I want to come up and visit you because, I'm getting close to your son. And this woman's like, we will see.
Yeah, Louis thought that you and I should get to know each other because we want to be in each other's lives. So, yeah, I'm going to come to Georgia. Well, when are you coming to Georgia? As soon as possible. Okay, well, we'll see.
Did my son warn you about me? I'm an old Italian lady. There's just marinara always cooking on my back stove. There's spaghetti all over my walls. All the times in which I threw it against it to see if it was al dente. I'm an old Italian. There's Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin playing all the time. I'm an old Italian lady. I drink only Chianti. Like, what, God bless. I can't wait to meet this person.
And Melissa was like, oh my God, what a coincidence. I can't wait to be an old Italian lady.
Yeah, Melissa's sisters look just like who you think they would look like. They all have chest tattoos. They all have
tattoos. One is like a hippie fairy version with dreads, and the other one is just like what you would think.
She's also been in prison. They look like that.
She's been in prison. Melissa drives this loud ass like Jeep that has 4 people, like it's just like ridiculous, loud ass back out Jeep. And then she's got like this chain handbag. It's got a lot of like hardware on it, and it just like is heavy. The bag is just heavy to begin with. It's like the bag is heavy before you add your items in it.
Yeah, no, I think she drives a pickup truck, doesn't she? Like she hopped out of like a pickup truck,
That's what it looks like, but it's a Jeep. It's a Jeep that has a pickup truck bed in the back, but you could fit like 4 people because it's like a double cab.
Basically, she goes to like this like whatever coffee with her sisters where she's like, I'm gonna go up and visit him, and don't worry, he's gonna help me pay for it somehow. They're like, what? Like he's gonna make it work it out and help me pay for it. Like, what? Because she has like 2 jobs. Like, you can't afford to go up there. Also, what are you doing? Like, why are you going up there? She's like, well, he's not really in prison. He's like in a halfway house situation. They're like, well, so what are you gonna do there? You're just gonna like go visit him, like in the halfway house, like and want to visit his mom and just she's, not making the greatest choices, but like her whole vibe is like it feels like she wants to pretend that she's 20 years younger than what she is. Oh God, look at those pictures that you have. If you're on Patreon, you're seeing that she's put up a picture of Sherry, who's her sister. You know who this looks like that picture? Melissa looks like the Millionaire Matchmaker. Looks very Patty Stanger to me. Like Patty Stanger with an original nose and the same chin. Not facelifts and no Botox. Yeah, and the other sister is like, vegan. Like the other person.
First of all, they're in Halo Coffee. Okay, in
Yeah.
Highland Atlantic, whatever. The name of their city is so ridiculous. The whole time I'm going to be talking like them. This is going to be what it is whenever I'm talking about them. So it's like Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. It's like they just wanted to give like Atlantic City and like the Highlands of, I don't know, whatever, uh to name of this city. These sisters are all just so different. Like you got the hippie sister with the dreads, and she's got like a fairy chest tattoo, and then you've got the other sister who is like, just she's trying to be, I guess, what Melissa is. And Melissa 100% is the hot sister. She's the hot sister.
I like the vegan sister also, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. I think she definitely thinks she's a hot sister. She wants to pretend that she's the same hot person she was, when she felt her best. And so I feel like that's the whole thing with Louis. God bless. I have nothing else to say about them, my love.
Alrighty, let's move on. The next couple that we are going to talk about is new couple alert.
Yay!
We've got Jessica and Justin. Jessica is a nurse. She's been a nurse for over 13 years. And Justin is this, like, I don't know, kid that's 16 years younger than her.
Yeah.
His crime was possession and evading arrest. She met him while she was on duty as a nurse for the prison system, and she was like walking or whatever, and then they locked eyes, and she knew that he was the one for her.
Yeah, he just like describes like seeing her and being like she's really hot, and then being like, wait, is she looking like back at me? Like, is she? And also, again, like, it must be so weird if you are like in prison and you're like, I'm not allowed to flirt or whatever, and then you like in the weird moments of having any sort of interaction with, like where you're like, is my mind playing tricks on me that like I looked up and this person was like, so it's so interesting. I don't know. I think about that moment. She describes herself as a frat boy with tits. We see her taking a shot like on the beach with her friend, like who her friend is also understands that prison life. So, as a corrections officer, so she also likes to do a nighttime trade as well. We see this a lot with our people so she does tattoos at night, like tattoos.
She does tattoo on the weekends. When you said nighttime trade, I was like, are you trying to say that she's like a prostitute?
Oh.
No, she does tattoos on the weekend to make a little extra dough. She's a single mother of one, I believe. She's been married before, and it was for 15 years, but then that ended, and then she got married again, and that was only for 9 months because he slept with a mutual friend. And my thought is that you guys were probably swinging or something. Like, he just randomly slept with your friend after you guys were married for 9 months, or were you guys sleeping together prior to and something happened? Like, what really was the story that went on there? But apparently that just like messed her up. She went insane in the membrane. And then she just latched on to Justin and felt like it was kismet. It was meant to be. As soon as she like locked eyes with him, she knew he was the one. She quit her job as being a nurse in the DOC, which is the Department of Corrections. And she left to go be a nurse somewhere else. And when she tried to like come back to visit Justin, they wouldn't let her do so. So now she, at his bidding, has decided that she's going to go to buy a ring. So she goes with another friend to buy a ring, and this friend is just like trying to be supportive, but at the same time is like, girl, you could be doing so much better. You're better than this. But she's trying to be supportive, and it's kind of nice to see someone that's being supportive, because even though their friends and their families are delusional for wanting to marry these men in prison, I think it's fun when the friend plays along and tries to support you in the best way that they can with this. And so we have her. She's got her beautiful nails. They go to look for rings, and I mean, tell you, this man who is helping them get rings, I mean, bravo. He is one of the best supplementary characters I have ever seen. When he found out that the man was in prison, he was like, okay, all right, well, we all have a destiny. We all have a place to go. And then anytime she says something shocking to him, he goes, well, third time's the charm. Like, he has a positive quip to go right back at her with. And I love that.
He is so pale white, though. Wait, show him one more time. Wow, look how pale white he is. My God. Yeah, he was better than the on this episode we also get Ty, which we'll talk about Ty's bridal consultants, like because I had some interesting things to say about her too. Basically after this, Jessica goes to like an oyster shack with her daughter Bailey, and like tells her about the dude.
Wait a minute. Let's look at these rings. So she had so many rings that she was trying on each finger. The salesperson was help her trying on a black diamond, and I did not know there was a black diamond. That just filled my heart with like love. I was like, there are black diamonds. I want one. Also, this picture, there's a little chismosa in the back who agreed to be on TV, but she is just like in the business. If you guys are watching this on patreon.com/docusweeties, you see the picture of the other salesperson that's in the back that is just fully in the business. Like she's like, oh my God, Kyle is doing such a good job over there and being so entertaining. I wish I could do that. And she's like fully in, look at her in her like pink print shirt and her like pink pants. And she is just all up in the business, not helping a darn customer, just like in the business.
Living her spring fantasy.
Yeah. So then next scene, whatever her name is, what's her name? Melissa? No.
Yeah.
No. It is Jessica. Jessica goes and tells her daughter that she's moving to Tennessee to be with this man. And the daughter's like, what? Okay. Apparently she's gone estranged with her family because apparently she's gone estranged with her family because her family's not with her being with what's his face, which it's crazy that she would let go of her mother and her sister for Justin.
Yeah. Jean Marie, for some reason I can hear myself on Wa's audio. I don't know if that's, and I never do. Oh well.
It might be my mic. I'm not sure. I hope, because the last time we used this mic, Jean Marie said that it was like making sounds, I think. So Jean Marie, if this has been like a horrible edit or whatever, please let us know and then try to make it good, and then I won't use this mic anymore.
Now I can't. So love you. Now we're going back to it. So who are we talking about now?
What do you mean? We're still you finished talking about Jessica.
Okay, so basically, yeah. So Jessica goes to the oyster shack with Bailey. They have a conversation. She describes Bailey as her little sidekick, her best friend. It's her only child. I think that sometimes, yeah, when you have an only child, they become your like little extension. You think of them as like another appendage that is always around. Like if you have a good relationship, they're like your little best friend. I feel that way. Why I feel like was a little sidekick to her dad. I'm sure that like they used to say this thing to me where like my dad would walk around and I would walk right behind him, that if he stopped, I would just bump into his butt. I feel probably the same thing was with Wa, like
I had to have my hand in the back pocket. So my dad, after a certain age, he never held our hands. He like made us put our hands in his back pockets as he like roamed about. So yes, if it's actually true that I would just be like, put your hand in my back pocket, and then just like hold it and like walk behind him.
Wait, that's so funny. I kind of like that. Okay. I miss being held. I miss being carried. So that's why another thing is like, I miss that so much that I'll carry kids for as long as possible, because I know that once I stop carrying them, they'll probably never be carried again.
Wait a minute. You remember being carried?
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. I remember going up to someone and being like, up now, and then being like, and just being put up and not having to move, just like putting my long arms around someone's neck and just being carried like a, like a queen, honey. Okay, so I loved it so much. So basically, let's go back to Jessica. So that's all I have to say about them. I want to move on.
Okay. Thank you, Jean Marie, for doing the Lord's work in this moment. Chris sometimes forgets that like this is just being edited and they could be edited out. And she's like, what's going on? Like, we have an editor. She'll just edit it out. Thank you, Jean Marie.
The whole thing? I thought we were going.
No, not the whole thing. But you're like, where were we? As though like you were caught with the camera on. You weren't caught with the camera on. We could just, Jean Marie can just like make it make sense, She's She
Okay.
does the Lord's work. Sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, oh, I know that's not what happened. I know that Jean Marie fixed that. So thank you, Jean Marie. I see you, sis. I see you, girl. Feel free to edit all that out too, Jean Marie. Anything that didn't make sense to the streamline of us talking. Okay. Next person. Did you say what the outcome was of Jessica and her daughter? Her daughter was just like, I guess we'll wait and see, I believe. So yes.
That's exactly what what's her face's Melissa's Louis' mom said. Well, we'll see. It's like this is like the what can you say to someone who's making a horrible choice, who's going, who's probably not going to work out with someone? You just like, well, okay, whatever you want to do. Well, it's your life, live your life. Well, it's your choice. Okay, I'll support it. There's only like a handful of things you can tell someone who is about to ruin their life.
You're
But
right.
you can help them. So you're
You know
just
what? The next couple that we should talk about is Mikey and Chelsea, but for whatever reason, I don't have a picture of them. So just real quick, Mikey and Chelsea. You remember Chelsea? She is our deaf person, and Mikey is this buff person. And this episode, she's super super late for work because she found out that Mikey might have had a stroke, and her coworker, who's also deaf, doesn't believe any of it. And I'm not sure what she doesn't believe. I don't know if it's that she doesn't believe that Mikey had a stroke, or she doesn't believe that that's Chelsea's reason for being late.
yeah.
So it's just really unclear, but Chelsea's just like, yeah, what, she's not supporting me. That's BS. Like, of course he had a stroke. But then I'm like, what do you mean he might have? Are you just like waiting? Like, how does that make you late for work? Like, I just don't understand that. Like, you find out somebody might be whatever, and so then you're like, maybe you spend 5 minutes waiting to get updates, you call, or you do whatever you have to do to try to figure it out. But once you realize that, like, you're not going to get that information, then you just get in your car and drive to work. Like, if you are at a job where you could have your phone out, which she works at a hotel, so she can have her phone out, so then you just go to work and then you find information at that. What is she doing? Sitting on the couch, laying in bed, waiting for the information to come in?
Yeah, it's like devastating. It's like emotionally devastating. She's letting it wash over her. She's like, "Oh my god, is he okay?" You're like worried. You're like, you're like frazzled. Like suddenly, I get it, but I have anxiety and I'm always running late. So, oh yeah, I for sure get it. I'm like, where do you work? Like, it's just like a hotel. Like it feels like a mid-level hotel. There's like modern art on the walls. I'm like, is this a Hyatt? I'm not
No,
quite
it's like
sure.
it's like a Holiday Inn Express, or like a True, or like something that looks like fun and modern on the inside, but then on the outside, but then you get it to it and you realize it's like shitty service and like shitty pillows and like dirty carpets and like shallow tubs that are mildly dirty. It's like one of those places.
Oh god, I hate all those things.
Hmm.
Yeah, her friend is like really pissed and just like, like signing angrily. Her friend looks like very English, looking like blonde or
Very
Irish,
pale. Yeah.
yeah, very pale, like, like strawberry blonde hair, like put in a tie in the back, like I'm happy they work together though. Like they're just like a little team going from room to room, but she's just pissed she had to do the first room by herself. I get it because it's like so much easier to clean with someone. I love doing it, and or it's easier to make a bed with someone. It's much faster.
Yeah,
So
especially if they have a lot of rooms to do and then her having to do that room by herself, like, completely put her behind. Like, I can 100% get it.
yeah, and I get it. Like she's just like, let me see the text. Did that really happen? I don't believe it. She's like signing angrily. There's like having this like angry sign thing. God bless. It's actually like really interesting to watch sign happening because every word that she's signing, she also says it. She mouths it. So you really get to like it's like it's a little master class in the American
Yeah.
Sign Language thing.
There's a
So
whole thing on TikTok where this black girl like started signing something like "bitch, you don't know me," and it was a huge like thread on TikTok where everyone's like, "Oh, we are learning sign now," and so all the black girls are like, "Bitch, you don't know me." Like, everyone is just like doing it. So it's like she's now in charge of teaching all of Black TikTok how to sign. It's hilarious.
was that actually
Um,
what it was when you just did it? When like
no, bitch is like this. Is like the B, and then like she did like a thing with it, like something. I can't. It's yeah. It was like, and then like you like don't like. It was like something, and everybody was like, "Oh, we signing now." It was hilarious.
yeah. No, that's amazing.
All right, let's move on to our very last couple, and this is going to be the overproduced, the overacted, the like. I mean, the producers are putting in work on this segment to make it so wild. It's like
Yeah.
Kai and Hottie. Okay, okay, Kai and Hottie. Let me just bring it back to the thruple that caused it all. Okay, Meghan, not Markle, Mike and Sarah. That was pure, unfiltered, unproduced shenanigans. And they are trying so desperately to recreate that magic. And we can see through it. And let me tell you, Ty, with them tears, that bitch deserves a daytime Emmy. I mean, it's she's giving us all of the emotions, but it's like just still bad acting.
Well, I think she was crying because she didn't like the way her arms looked in that dress. She was not crying over him. You're talking about when she was crying when she had the dress on?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she was crying because of her arms. She doesn't
I
like the way
mean,
it looked. Well, anyway,
ugh.
so anyway, so yeah, so her and her friend go, dress shopping. I love that what she's like, look who I got this ring from, and her friend's like, who? She's like, don't be an asshole. Look, and she's like, no, who gave it to you? I literally could be anyone. She's like, "Ah, it's Hottie. And she calls her friend a Debbie Downer, who's just like in her like nurse uniform. Honey, this woman's just like, God bless. Brittany's her name. So they're going dress shopping. At first they try on a black dress, like literally a black dress. She comes out and she starts like bawling, and it's because she doesn't like the way she says her arms are in it. There's like this one bridal consultant who like hates her life being here. She's like very much like, this isn't what say yes to the dress for this woman. This isn't Kleinfeld's. So as she's crying, BB is like her other guy, like her other number 2 guy calls and asked for money to be added to the books, and he's like, what are you shopping for? You said some house stuff. I thought she said some hoe stuff, which I thought was hilarious because she's in a wedding dress. Okay.
No. So, this girl is over here. This girl is over here putting on wedding dresses to wear for Hottie and in their wedding that she's actually never going to be able to get married. She's like, I'm getting married, but he's not coming out for 5 years, so I'm going to get in prison married. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to try on these dresses because I'm really excited. I've never been married before. And we're all like, no shit. And then she goes in, tries the black ones, comes out, cries, then puts on another one and is still teary-eyed from that one and is no longer having fun because she just doesn't feel good about herself. And so then her friend is like, are you really sitting in here crying? So she goes into like the bridal suite or whatever to like dressing room to talk with her. And then while she's there, she thinks she's getting a call from Hottie because she's like, oh, this is Hottie. And then she answers the phone. It's not Hottie. It's some other guy. And this other guy is literally calling her and asking her for money. Like, hey, you said you were going to put money on the books. Like, where's the money? And she's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to add it. And she's like upset. And he's like, are you okay? She's like, yes. And then he's like, okay, well, what are you doing? And she's like, shopping. And he's like, you shopping for what? And she's like, house stuff. And she's fully in a fucking wedding dress and pouting. And her friend is sitting next to her and the sales associate. And then the guy's like, okay. And he hangs up with her. It's like, damn, like this woman, you hear she's upset. And the only thing you're crying about or calling her for is to get money on the books. Like, and she's like, I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it. And I'm just like, you're such an idiot. Like no part of this makes me excited for her. Like, it is just so dumb. I actually took a picture of a bodice that I really enjoyed, but it didn't get sent to my phone, or maybe I forgot to upload it, but I'll show it to you guys right now because it was the first thing that made me go, oh, I should take pictures. It is like this dress and it has like leaves on it. And I thought it was so pretty. I've never seen a wedding dress that I've been like, oh my God, this is so pretty. I liked it.
Yeah, her dream was going to be a mansion with candlelight, nighttime, and him crying, and now it's going to be in a cafeteria. So, things change, things evolve. This bridal consultant was told like that, we can, that, obviously it could happen within a month. And she's like, well, we can work with that. She like smiles, like we can work with that. And then she turns her head and it drops within a moment. And I just like know that life or that retail life. Like,
oh God. Yeah, I just like, oh, so much. Yeah. It's like, stupid customers, like buy your shit and get out. Like, leave me alone. So the next scene that we have with Ty is, this is a mini scene that you might not have seen if you didn't watch The More to Love, but her father comes over and basically tells her she should work for the FBI with the bullshit she has on her wall. And then she's like, you think I could? And he's like, well, yeah. And then she shows her dad the ring from Hottie, and her dad was like, oh yeah, that looks like a great $12 ring. And she's like, shut up, get out. And the dad is just like, okay. So then the next scene we have that you probably did see was her going to meet up with her cousin Michelle in the studio, and before she leaves, she kisses each bear that she has
I love
for a different man that she's interested in. One's Hottie, one's Boo Boo, one's JJ. Like who knows, you know?
Yeah. No, I loved it.
Then after that, she gets to the studio, and you know, the cousin who, I mean, shockingly is giving me Ashanti. You know, it's like giving me 2022 Ashanti, you know?
With
Uh
eyelashes that I know she does eyelashes that need to be a little like less. Like I think it needs to be a little less. Like that's my personal thing, but I understand why she's doing it, and we're all
because she's
allowed our
urban. This is urban eyelashes.
own.
These are urban eyelashes, Chris.
I know. And I get it. I get it. I understand the look. I'm just saying that if it could just be taken a step back, I think it could just be a little less cartoony. But that's just my personal preference. And this woman can live her life, and she can say a bunch of things like how I'm doing no makeup right now, and how I'm in a weird onesie that also matches the other person I'm doing this live podcast
Yeah,
with.
she could be like, you need you a lace front with some body and some curls. Like
She could
this,
read.
huh?
She could read me.
So anyways, we find out that this is her cousin, and she's like laying down tracks for the EP apparently. And she's supposed to get some kind of, like, we get this shot of them where she's like sitting on that thing, and Hottie is there. Not Hottie, Ty is there. I really want Ty's name to be Hottie. Like, it feels like their name should be switched, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like the man's name should be Ty and
Yeah.
the girl's name should be Hottie? I mean,
Yeah.
Hottie, not to be confused, Hottie who looks like Beyonce / Luther Vandross from what's his name? Love with yeah, boy. What's his name? Tiffany, the head bitch in charge.
Pollard? Yeah, Tiffany New York. Tiffany New York Pollard.
Yeah. What's the name of that show? Boy.
Oh,
Flavor Flav. Yeah, not to be confused with that Hottie. Remember when she was like, Hottie from season 1 was like, I look like Beyonce. And Tiffany was like, bitch, Beyonce? Bitch, you look like Luther Vandross, which is just like, I mean, Tiffany Pollard really just like started the whole reality star shit with like the memes and the like quotables. Bitch, you look like Luther Vandross, she said.
It was
Okay,
bananas.
anyways,
her mom's sister Patterson was bananas. What great TV. What's a different
what quality trash we had back in the day. Could you imagine if we had started a podcast just to talk about Flavor Flav?
No, Tiffany. No, I would want to do early aughts VH1, because then I could do House Rock of Love and all that stuff together. Like,
I mean, yeah, like who would watch that? Who would watch it with us? Patreon, would you watch it with us?
Because it's considered, it can be a docuseries.
It is. I mean, if only I had the time. We don't have the time, Chris.
Listen, Patreon can make it worth our while. Okay, so basically her friend is like, okay, here's the thing. I did talk to Hottie, and he mentioned, totally mentioned how, like he's engaged, and so that makes sense when you say that, except that he didn't say your name, like not once. He did say someone else's name about the whole engagement thing, and that person's name is Boston. And
I mean, not to be confused with like Massachusetts or whatever other cities there are in Boston. What are the cities in Boston? Who knows? But like Boston. And Ty is like, oh, no, it's me. He's marrying me. It's like, girl, this is where the bad acting comes in. It's like, girl, what are you trying to say right now? Like, you don't even sound truly shocked.
Concord, Massachusetts is where Louisa May Alcott lived, and where all the little women grew up. Anyway, okay, so also Salem, Massachusetts, which
yeah, you're right, Chris. Listen, you're right.
Oh no, because I was there last year. Okay, so she's really upset. She's like, what is he trying to do? It's like his mom birthed him out to make me a fool. It's like she pushed once, pushed twice, and he came out and he was like, wow, where's Ty? Got her fuck up her life, like, which I thought was LOL. That made me happy. I mean, it was really, really shitty of the cousin. I don't understand why the cousin who had gone over to propose on Hottie's behalf to her was also really shitty to be like, but I also have another ring. You know, like who taught you how to do this? And why did you say yes to this? What are you, little like tooth fairy? But you're like a little ring fairy running around delivering rings under pillows of all the people that Hottie like wants money to put in their books. I can't, honey. I can't. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is just what I'm saying. It's like overproduced and it's bad. It's just like I'm like, oh my god, you guys are bad at this. Like this is I don't believe 1 second of this.
So it's like, okay, just want to know this. This is the last thing I want to say that. So Ty's thing is like, I want male attention and companionship. And so I'm going to pay for men by putting money on people's books, different men a roster, so that they will contact me and I'll feel good about myself or I'll get some love and attention. Also, maybe one of them and I will fall in love with each other. So I'm like planting the seed. So when one of them comes out of prison, we'll get married.
I
Is that
guess.
but I'm paying for that. It's like, but other people pay for dating websites. So this is just whatever it is.
I guess, girl. I don't know.
That's all I have to say about them.
Yep. And that's all we have for today, you guys. So thank you so much for watching us. If you would like to see the video version of what you just heard, you could join us on Patreon for $10 a month on patreon.com/DocuSweeties, or you can find us on social media at
DocuSweeties at Instagram, DocuSweeties1 on TikTok, DocuSweeties1 on Twitter. Isn't that lovely? We have so much for you free. Also, if you want to give us $10, we have even more for you. So we're trying to do the most for you. We appreciate you so much. So yes, we have HEA coming your way in 2 days or a couple of days for us. And other than that, we love you guys. And we want you to have a happy Halloween.
all right.
Right?
Be safe out there, you guys. Bye.